This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN.
He was also like trying to get close to her face to face. Like he would whisper and then like turn and she's like, what? And would back up even more. So she finishes the rum and coke that he had initially ordered for himself. Then, you know, he's been holding his LIT all night and he's asking her if she wants a sip. And she's like, no thanks, like I'm gonna slow down. We saw him put his lips on the straw, but it never looked like he actually took a sip. And if anything, with the ice melting, it looked like the drink got bigger. But he seemed pretty insistent on her sipping that drink. And he was just holding it, hoping that the chance would come for him to give it to her. What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought we were long overdue for another story time. Now here's the thing, I like to space out these videos as much as I can because while I was in Korea for over 2 years, and theoretically I have like a story time for every week that I was there, I want to try to space them out and save some of them for weeks when I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know what to film. So I do want to keep these on my channel, but I'm trying to my bangs suck today. But I'm trying to space them out until we get back to some sense of normalcy in Korea and I can go back and visit and make more stories and more memories and stuff. So here's another one about the time 4 years ago. It was in August of 2017 and I went clubbing in Gwangju with a friend. You know, the typical foreigner experience, being accosted in the club, them assuming you're easy, all that good stuff. Except this time it was a little bit different because we suspect he put something in her drink, but we can't confirm. Okay, let's start. Actually, I lied. First, I want to make an announcement for my channel members. I have decided after it's long overdue. I'm gonna start doing dance covers again for the channel members. Now, if you guys are a channel member, meaning you have like a little badge, a little heart on its side next to your name, please leave a comment down below to let me know what kind of dance I should do. So in the past, I've done Fire by BTS, Blessed by Tears by BTS, Maria by Hwasa, and I Can't Stop Me by Twice. And the last one I did was in December, so I know I'm long overdue. I'm gonna get back on them this month, but I need to find a good one. I'm not a best dancer, like I'm not like super good, but they're fun to do, so leave me some suggestions below. Also, I want to ask that you please to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you like videos like this. It helps me know what I should be doing because sometimes I do get in a bit of a writer's block and I don't know what to say, what to do. Please help me get to my goal of 100,000 subscribers and leave a like on this video. Help it get picked up by the YouTube algorithm. The longer you watch, the more it gets like suggested and shown and recommended to other people. So hope it's a good story and you like it. Okay, so let's get started with yet again another presumptuous encounter with a clever in Korea who thinks all foreigners are easy. Okay, so this is like August of 2017. I had just came back from my 1-week vacation in Tokyo. I talked about that in another story time, my trip in Tokyo. And this was interesting because I lived in Jeju, so like I only got to spend weekends at a time on the mainland. So this was, I had 2 weeks off of school. So I had like 5 or 6 days I spent in Tokyo and I had like another 4 or 5 days plus the weekend left, so I wanted to explore the mainland a little bit more. Problem is, my last day I was in Japan that morning, like getting ready for my flight. I don't know what happened, but I was so ill. I was very sick, so that flight back to Korea was already miserable. So I get back to my hotel in Seoul and I was bedridden for like 2 or 3 days. I think I was just rewatching season 7 of Game of Thrones, or I was just in the dark. I couldn't eat. I was very sick for like 2 to 3 days. I don't know what happened. And then miraculously I was good. I was ready to go, so I was like, I need to do something. So I actually had a friend that I met through the talk program. She was already there for like 6 months before I got, so she spent like a year in Korea. At this point, I was in Korea for about 6 months, and she was already gearing up for her big move to Japan. So she had all these questions like, what was it like? Did you have fun? How much did you spend? Like all these questions, so we said we should hang out and like talk about this. Now, Japan was her main interest. Like she went to Korea because, you know, it was in the area, it's a new experience, but Japan was like always her goal. So keep that in mind. Japan is a pretty important thing to note throughout this video. Well, for the major part of this video. Speaking of traveling, this video sponsor, Surfshark VPN. So if you've watched my channel and you've seen me, you know I am majorly into travel. You guys were with me when I was living in Korea for over 2 years. Now I'm still in the UK. Longer than I thought it was going to be. One thing that's really important to have when you're traveling is a VPN. It is essential to have a VPN. The first time I realized that was my layover when I was in China, and you have like no YouTube, no Facebook. I couldn't watch the K-dramas I wanted to watch because I was in China. So Surfshark VPN is like an extension you can put on your phone, you can put it on your laptop, and it lets you, like, you can spoof your location and pretend you're somewhere else. And what this does is it gives you access to content you wouldn't have online based on the country you're in. For example, there are websites and Netflix videos I can't watch while I'm in Korea, but I can watch when I'm back in the States. Actually used to do that a lot to get like better access to different anime that was available in Japan, but I wasn't in Japan and I wanted to watch the anime anyway, even though I was in Korea, so that came handy to have a VPN like Surfshark. It also adds online protection for your passwords, your videos, your pictures. So that was one thing. When I first went to Korea, nobody told me I should get a VPN. I never knew what that was. And some of my friends while I was there, I was complaining about like not being able to watch some dramas, not being able to watch some shows that I used to watch back home. They said, why don't you just get a VPN? I'm like, what's a VPN? So it is absolutely essential, and I highly recommend that everyone actually gets a VPN, especially if you're into travel or you just want broader access to content you can't have in your own country. So if you guys are interested in accessing more content and protecting your online activity, you can use my code and you get 83% off plus 3 months free. Right down there in the description box. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk and there's no harm in just trying it out. Like, VPNs are essential if you travel, like you just need it. Thank you Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video, and we're gonna get back to the story time. So yeah, like I said, I was used to spending all my weekday time in Jeju, and I could only flock to Seoul on the weekends, like to club with my friends. So I was really looking forward to having an extended period of time where I could actually explore at least one other city on the mainland, because I only had like 4 or 5 days plus the weekend at this point. So we decided to take the bus down to Gwangju. We figured we could go there, see some of the sights, do some shopping, do some eating, and of course do some clubbing. Now the bus ride took like 5 or 6 hours. That was a long bus ride from Seoul, but it was a really nice like opportunity to see some of the mountains and rivers and streams and farms and mud flats. Mud what? It was a really good chance to see all of that. Like, I was like, wow, so this is the mainland, and you know, Seoul is up here and then Gwangju is like down there. So plus Gwangju is one of the major cities in Korea. By the way, one thing that I just remember in particular, I took a taxi to the bus station, and in that taxi for some reason inside was just covered with aluminum caps all over the floor, hanging from the rearview mirror, all over the ceiling. I don't know why, but I'd show you this snap real quick. So we get there, it seemed like it wasn't as far of a walk, so we was like, oh, we can just walk to our hotel, like it's no big deal. And we're actually only gonna be in like we're only spending the night in Gwangju. So we got like a cheap little place. We're probably not even actually gonna sleep. We just need somewhere to put our bags down. So we went to get food, and it was great. We had this bomb ass barbecue, and we had to like climb stairs to get like to the 2nd or 3rd floor. I think it was the 2nd floor. We were by the window, and you know, there's music pumping from at the barbecue place we're at all around us across the street, noraebang, clubs, shops. So we're just like, oh my god, there's so much to do in one night. And we look down and we see this group of fine ass men. They was fine. So I just remind you guys that this was mid-August, and y'all know I hate summer. So I was kind of just basking in the AC, and I wanted to stay. My friend loves summer. She was ready to get out there into this August night. Like, she just wanted to go out there. She didn't want to lose track of these boys. So we kind of like wrapped it up. They were like down, you know those like machines, it's like an arcade game. You like punch it and the high score and all this stuff. So they were like taking turns doing that, seeing which of the friends was the strongest. So we had some time. So we wrap it up, finish our food, take our shots of soju. She's ready to be out there amongst the clubbers. So like we get downstairs, and mind you, right now it's only like 8:30, but it is the weekend, but it's still only like 8 or 8:30. You see people, you know, stumbling out of noraebangs, and they're passed out on benches and kind of just sitting against the building, laying in an alley. One was using like those little food waste bags. It's like a tiny little yellow bag as a pillow, and I was just under him. And you know, not for nothing, Korea is one of those countries where it's safe enough that you can pass out outside and not really worry about anything bad happening to you. But that being said, you still shouldn't let that happen to your friend. Like, you don't let your friend just sleep it off outside or on a bench. Like, you don't pass the good friend check. So we head into our first club, and the music was pretty lit, but you know, I hate to say this, in Korea a lot of the music is repetitive. Hour after hour, when a new DJ comes on, they play what the last DJ just played. Weekend after weekend, year after year, you kind of hear the same songs. So much to our pleasant surprise, they started to play the wobble. Now, do y'all know what the wobble is? It's like this famous cookout line dance. Well, it's not a cookout line dance, but it's a line dance you often do at cookouts. Wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble. Get in there. Yeah, yeah, get in there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we got excited. The only other time I heard that song play was when we were in Itaewon, and usually some other blacks will join you on the dance floor, because you know, people who don't really know the dance kind of just gradually step aside, and we get in there. So we were in Gwangju, and me and my friend were like the only black people in sight. So it was kind of a party of two. Me and her were just like, wobble baby, wobble baby. So then these guys came up to us and asked us if we rehearsed it, if we practiced it, and we're like, no, it's like a dance. It's called the wobble. By the way, is that like a dance people know, because I guess in my mind I kind of just assumed it was one of those dances most black people knew. But actually the other day in Leicester Square, and I'm still in London, me and my friend went to go see the Eternals, and it was this guy teaching people how to do the wobble, the cha-cha slide, and like some, you know, famous cookout line dances. So I started to do it, and I was like, wait, you don't know this? And she's like, no, what's the wobble? And I was just like, so is that like just an American thing? Let me know below if you know the wobble. So yeah, like those guys were asking us to like teach them, because it's a really simple step. You know, you hop forward, shimmy, you hop back, you shimmy, you do an arm thing to the left, you do an arm thing to the right, you step forward with your left foot, then you back shuffle, step forward with your right, back and shuffle, and you sway, turn to the side, and do the whole thing again. So we taught these guys how to do it, even though the music like had stopped playing at that point, but we were still just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then, you know, they got it. So that led to them kind of like sticking around with us and hanging out a little bit. So then this one guy, and again, I'm not using names, mostly I don't remember them, but 2, it's irrelevant. So I'll just call them thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3 that kind of have worked in the past. So thing 1 decides to ask if they want a drink, or if anybody wants a drink, because he's going to get drinks. But I already had mine, I was good. I was like, no thanks, I'm good. And y'all know me, I don't really accept drinks from guys, especially when I don't know them. So my friend was like, yeah, sure, I'll take an LIT, a Long Island iced tea. Thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3 go off to get the drinks for everybody. And me and my friend just kind of convened, and we're like, all right, huddle up. And we're like, you know, they're cute, but we know their intentions are never good. So we decide, all right, let's like make a little friendly bet and see thing 1, thing 2, or thing 3, which one of them is gonna be the first to like accost us to a DVD bong, a love motel, or some other typical fuckboy shit. So thing 1 decided to go off and buy the drinks, and all of them followed him. Thing 2, you know, he was pretty social, like not as much as thing 1, but they both spoke pretty good English. Sometimes like the sentence order was a little off, but like their pronunciation was really good. They seemed to know the vocabulary, but not so much like the sentence order. Thing 3 did not speak. I'm assuming he didn't really speak much English, but he was really like cute and playful, you know, lock hands and kind of go, ah, you know, like he was really playful and energetic and like respectful. He kept a distance. He was dancing to show he was like with me, but not like invasive, like not like I'll dance in front of you like this, we'll be like this, you know, keep arms length apart, but he wasn't like turn around, bend it over, let me see that. Thing 1 and thing 2 kind of took turns like flirting with us both though. Like they were just kind of like, oh, you're cute, oh, I like your style, oh, you're a good dancer. But we both knew it was only a matter of time before we heard, where's your home? Do you know DVD bong? Have you ever been to a love motel?
사랑해, 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 사랑해요. 안녕하세요. 사랑해, 사랑해, 사랑해.
So thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3 come back with the drinks. Thing 1 got like a rum and coke or something. He had her LIT, and thing 2 and thing 3 had some shots. Like it was like a shot in a shot, so I think it was like a Jaeger bomb or something. I don't know what my friend saw or what she thought she saw, or just being like extra cautious. She asked him what he got, and he said, oh, rum and coke. She's actually, can I have that instead? And he was fine. He was like, okay, sure. So he takes the LIT, and he's kind of just holding it but not drinking it. So you know how you give your girlfriend that sus, did you see that look? Because they took their shots right away, and then he's just holding his drink. So we kind of look at each other like I said, I don't know if she saw him put something in her drink, but she just wanted his. I don't know what happened. So thing 1, the one who offered to get the drinks, he starts to get impatient, indeed, as we knew one of them would eventually. Thing 2 is kind of just swaying by himself a little bit, but still like chiming in every now and then for a conversation. Thing 3 is still just like, hey, making a lot of noise, but keeping his respectful distance. And thing 1 is like, so do you live in Korea, or are you visiting, or like what's the deal? And in my experience, when you tell them that you're like an English teacher, they almost know that you live by yourself, because your school will typically provide your accommodation. And Koreans typically live with their parents for longer because like rent and key money is expensive. So they get excited when they say, oh, you got a place to yourself, like we should go over there. In my experience, that's what's happened. Or like if they know you're just visiting, so they'll know, oh, so do you have a hotel, or do you have like a hostel? Like, are you by yourself, or are you sharing with friends and a lot of other people? The best chance for them to get you alone, basically. They're looking for it. They'll ask like, are you nearby? Do you live in the area? Where's your home? That's a really, really common, where's your home? So of thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3, thing 1 was definitely the worst. His thirst just kind of bounced back between me and my friend, but I really wasn't trying to pay him any attention, because it was kind of clear that he wanted like some ass, and I was just like playing with his friends, like, hey, you know, we're doing the bump. My friend was having fun. She's, you know, she likes to dance. Like she's whining, body waving, she's like twerking, and like she's getting into it. So he's looking at her like so like, you know, he's you know, whispering in her ear, putting his hands on her waist, trying to get around behind her, look at her butt, be behind her, and you know, typically what I hate in the club. He He was also like trying to get close to her face to face. Like he would whisper and then like turn and she's like, what? And would back up even more. And you know, it looked like he was trying to make out with her. So she finishes the rum and coke that he had initially ordered for himself. Like she's being friendly, but she's rejecting his advances. So then, you know, he's been holding his LIT all night and he's asking her if she wants to sip. And she's like, no thanks, like I'm gonna slow down. We saw him put his lips on the straw, but it never looked like he actually took a sip. And if anything, with the ice melting, it looked like the drink got bigger. So he's just like, you want some? Look, I don't know if he put something in that, but that was mad sus. Like, I don't know if he didn't like LITs. If that's the case, why not just put it down and get another drink? Or offer it to one of his friends? But he seemed pretty insistent on her sipping that drink. And he was just holding it, hoping that the chance would come for him to give it to her. So at this point, he outright asked her,
do you like Korean man?
They always ask that. And he asked her like why she came to Korea. So then she initially says, well, actually, my main intention, my dream, my priority was to go to Japan, to teach in Japan. And y'all know there's always already like this Cold War rivalry type of thing between Korea and Japan. There's a long, intricate, sensitive history that goes into the, you know, the beef between the two countries. So I'm not even gonna touch on that. He's like, oh, like getting defensive, like why do you like Japan? Like why didn't you want to stay in Korea? Why do you want to go to Japan instead? So she said like, you know, she was interested in being in the region, but she applied to Korea and Japan at the same time. Korea said yes, and they said yes first. So she said, all right, you know, I can go and visit, you know, it's like a 2-hour flight. I can save up some money, gain some experience, and then go to Japan. Because she actually speaks a bit of Japan, not so much Korean. We both like anime. She said like how much she likes anime. She loves Japanese food, like the architecture in the buildings, like how clean the country is, the, you know, the scenery, and like she loves Japan. Like she's always been like very interested in Japan. Never gave any F's about K-pop or anything like that. She likes Japanese rock music, all that stuff. But yeah, when she said that, he was gutted. He was like, oh, but Korea, we have manhwas and they're just as popular as mangas, and we have K-pop and we have such good Korean food and our buildings are beautiful. She's like no need to be defensive. I never said they weren't. Like I've had a fun year here, but I'm transiting to Japan. Like that has been my main goal. You asked, I'm answering. At this point, I'm like sipping my original drink and I'm dancing with a friend, but I got my ear kind of glued to this conversation, like in case, you know, you need to step in and be like, all right, we gotta go. And it also became pretty clear that I was losing the bet because I was just so sure that Thing 2 was gonna be the one to kind of just come in from left field and out of nowhere be like, let's go to a love motel, guys. But yeah, she was right. Thing 1, I mean, he was the one who suggested to get drinks, so he's like, oh, I'm investing in this, she's going somewhere with me. So then what he said next, I swear to God, I can't make this up. This was definitely one of the most definitive memories of that night. I'm listening like a hawk at this point, and he says with a straight face, I can show you why Korea is better than Japan.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Now y'all tell me what y'all think he mean by that. Just for the sake of the tea and just to see where this is gonna go and just kind of to watch him dig his own grave. She knows exactly what he's talking about, but she's like, go on please. No, go on. I don't know what you're talking about. Like she's like, just keep going. What do you mean? How are you gonna show me?
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
So then he asks her if she knows what a love motel is, if she knows what a DVD bong is. He's like, you've been here a year, have you ever been? Like, it's really fun there, it's really comfortable and relaxing. You can get to know each other better. He said, if you want, that's how I can show you Korea is better than Japan.
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
What? So at this point, she lost it. Like, she couldn't take it anymore. She bust out laughing. She was like, bro, I've been here a year. Do you think you're the first Korean dude to try to get me in a love motel or a DVD bong to fuck me? Like, that's what they're for. He's like, what do you mean? No, you can go and watch movies. A love motel is romantic. He really tried to tell her that it's just a romantic setting. So then he got, I'm still listening, but at this point, I'm kind of like, not like subtly listening, I'm actively listening. I'm just like, cause like it's getting a bit, not heated, but like direct. So I'm just kind of there to back up like, you tell him, girl, you tell him. So then he's like, no, I don't have any bad intentions. You're just so sexy and you're so cute. And I want to leave you with a good memory before you leave Korea. I'm about to say Japan. Before you leave Korea, and I want to show you why Korea is better than Japan. He was so fixated on this for some reason. She said if that was the case, you wouldn't have lied to me and told me that a DVD bong is just a nice place to relax and that a love motel is this romantic setting, because I know what they are for. I know, I've been here over a year. I know what it is. Like, you don't gotta lie to me. If your intentions were good, you wouldn't have lied. So then he says, I thought black people really liked sex. That's when we literally just about face and just walked right out of the club. We're like, all right, well, you know, bye. So then thing two, cause he's like, well, like, they were yelling at each other in Korean. He's like, what did you say? They're leaving. Like, that's all we could understand. He said, what did you say? 뭐라고? And like, they're leaving. Why are they leaving? And then, you know, the conversation started to fade. We got out of earshot. I waved at thing three, and he was, Koreans, okay, they do this cute hand rub thing when they're sorry. Like, they're like, oh, sorry. Like, I don't know how he met them too, but he was, you know, he could have been just a really good sheep in wolf's clothing, but he was really nice. The rest of them, the thing one and thing two are fighting with each other. Thing three is like, oh. So I was like, bye. He's like, oh, sorry. So we get outside, and I asked her, like, why she didn't ask about the drink. Like, do you know if he put something in that? Because I was curious, like, why she suddenly wanted the rum and coke and not the LIT, because I know she likes her Long Island iced teas. And she said, oh, you know, girl, like, I didn't see where he got that drink. I don't know what he put in it. Better safe than sorry. And she said, I'd rather roast him and watch him dig his own grave for what I know and what I witnessed versus, like, speculation. I was like, fair. So, yeah, we left the club. The rest of the night was actually really chill after that. We did see them again, but they were with, like, a group of Korean girls. We saw them, but they didn't see us. So we kind of were just like, just to avoid conversation. Went to a Koi Noraebang. We kind of walked around the streets a little bit more. We were, you know, getting some air, trying to, because, you know, people smoke in the clubs and stuff. It's so annoying. So we're getting some air. We're still hot. It's August and we're drunk-ish, so both tipsy. So by the time we headed back to our hotel, it was actually time to get ready to get the bus back to Seoul. So yeah, we packed up and just went back to Seoul. Now, I've only been to Gwangju twice. And I'm doing my best. It's 4 years ago. I'm trying not to like merge two stories. I hope I got this right. I'm not gonna do 2 Gwangju story times. Like, I think this kind of is enough. I just want to thank Surfshark VPN again for sponsoring this video. Please check out the link in the description box below if you guys want 83% off and you want 3 months free. You want to protect your online activity, you want to set your location at different places to get different content and access to different types of videos, especially on Netflix. Check that out. Thanks for watching if you did. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.